Yes. Are you ready? Okay. Um, can we start? Okay, we are resuming at point number 4, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting of the council. Um, I believe we went through the confirmation of minutes already. Is there any amendment or correction to be made? Or if not, we then accept the confirmation of minutes. Councillor Jackie?
His Worship, I don't see where the minutes, it is minuted about the Lasara games that. Sorry, Mas.
Thank you, Councillor. Can we have a proposal and a secondment on the confirmation of minutes? Councillor Mara?
I need clarity on one point, number 9, of these minutes that we are checking. I'm on the minutes
The page?
before we confirm them.
The page?
Number 9.
Under the
answers-
report?
Yeah. No. Let's say page 4, 3.
May I ask that you just put your cell phones on silent because of vibration on the recording? Page 3.
Point number 9.
Answers to questions of motions which notice was given. What is your concern, Councillor?
Yeah, my concern is during that meeting, the council agrees that these points to be discussed under the monthly report of the CEO, meaning the feedback be there. Am I right?
Supposed to be?
Yes. So CEO's monthly report, is it somewhere? Okay, so then we cannot accept these because the answers are not on point 9. You get my point? Mr.
I
Chair?
do. Let me just revert to the CEO on a matter like this, CEO.
Thank you, Worship. Yes, some of the questions that were asked during that time is now supposed, most of them are supposed also to be answered in this meeting of today. And it's correctly what the council have mentioned. It can also be discussed when we come to the point of the report of the CEO. Then some of these questions can probably also then be disclosed during that point. But most of them are not under the report because the report were not ready coming to this council meeting at the time. Your Worship.
Thank you, CEO. Councillor Mara.
Your Worship, if the report is not coming to this council meeting, then we cannot accept these minutes, unfortunately, because we need, none of the questions was answered. As a matter of fact, the previous meetings minutes are also pending. They couldn't be approved.
I was just correctly informed by the support that these questions was in the minutes of February, they were omitted during the minutes of February, and that is why they were put in. But the answers were given in the report of March, during the report of March. That is why, because these questions, you can remember the last time, it was decided because these questions were not part of the minutes, and it was decided if they are not part of the minutes, then the minutes cannot be confirmed at the time. So these are the minutes of February that still needs to be confirmed, because these questions were not part of that minutes.
Okay, Councillor
And
Mara.
it was decided at the time that these questions become part of the minutes, and now I was just writing for, because I was not at the last council meeting, that some of these questions were answered during the meeting of March.
Okay.
Okay, if some of the questions was answered, that means not all of them. So which ones was answered?
Yes, CEO.
Switch off, Mayor. No, the only thing is that during this point 4.1 and 4.2, it's only the confirmation of the minutes. Whether the minutes, during the last time, these minutes were sent back for correction, for inclusion of these points. So it means clarification on these points still was supposed to be handled in the meeting of March. It doesn't affect the minutes as it is here to be confirmed right now. But still, it can be clarified for the meeting of March whether these minutes, these questions has been answered or not in the report or not. Because this is the minutes of February that was sent back at the time. You can remember, Your Worship. And because these questions were not reflected on the minutes, and that was because of these questions were not reflected on the minutes, it doesn't mean that the questions were supposed to be answered at that time. It was only that these questions were supposed to be reflected in the minutes to show that the councillor did indeed ask these questions. So the follow-up for the answering was supposed to be handled during the meeting of March. The same with 4.2. I think 4.2 was the special council minutes.
Thank you, CEO. Councillors, can we have a proposal and a secondment on this, on the minutes, because it was just due to the information, it was not there for February. It's February. It's not for March, it's for February. So can we please have a proposal and secondment for that minutes, because this was just minuted, because it was not previously minuted. So now we will go over then to 4.1.2 after confirmation, then we will raise again and see then again, Councillor Mara. Councillors? Any proposal and secondment? Councillor Mara, it was very clear what the CEO just mentioned, that this is for February. This minute stood over because your complaint was at that time, it was not reflecting. Now it's reflecting. So now when it's reflecting, why do you dispute the fact that the minutes of February cannot be confirmed? What is your reason to say that the minutes, because your complaint was it was not reflecting? Okay, now it's reflecting. It's not been handled, it must reflect. That was your complaint. Now it's reflecting. So now your questions must be based on March, not on February. So now it's reflecting on February's confirmation of minutes. So why are you saying it cannot be confirmed?
Thank you, Your Worship. Answers to questions of members of which notice was given in February. We are now in May.
Yes, Councillor.
February, so then we went over to March.
Yes, Councillor.
Yes. Then we went over to April.
Yes,
These
Councillor.
questions are not answered.
Yes, but what is the
Not in report.
confirmation? Because on
Because once we are
February,
confirming this now, Honorable Mayor,
that's only for...
it's a done case.
No.
We will not go back to these
No,
things
Councillor
anymore.
Mara, please hear what is being said. The confirmation of the minutes which you tabled at point 9 was not reflecting in February. So they were not confirmed because it was not reflecting in March. Now it's reflecting in February because this is the confirmations of February. So now it is there, so it can be confirmed and then moved on. So can I please have a proposal and a secondment for the confirmations of minutes? It is answered. Now you come to February, to March. Now you bring in your dispute. It was not answered in March, but your request was it was not. Your answers was in February, And then you ask, why isn't it reflecting? Because you ask your questions. So now your questions is there. So now you must get your answers in March. But you can't withhold to say the confirmation must not be done in February. Because your questions was only asked in February. So can I please have a proposal and a secondment of the confirmation of minutes of February, proposed by Councillor Amanda and seconded by Councillor Lelani. Now we move over to 4.1.2, minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 2nd of April, which means this is now the minutes of March. Is there any amendments, because we read through the confirmation of minutes of April, which is actually the confirmation of minutes for March? Councillors, any amendment on the minutes of March, confirmation of minutes of 2nd of April? CEO, I do not see the questions being answered. I don't see the report in March confirmation of minutes.
Bishop, that is what I rightly mentioned, that during that meeting I was not available at the time, and it should have been handled during that time, but I'm still looking and see at the minutes if it's not there.
So then the questions is not yet answered on Councillor Mara's 9 points. Okay?
I was just informed now with Dorothea that the questions have been answered in camera in the monthly report during
Okay.
that time.
All right. It was that last time, it was the last point on the in-camera meeting. If Councillor Mara, in that minute, is it in that minutes reflecting? In camera, is it reflecting there? Support? Okay. Okay. Therefore, I will ask a proposal and a secondment on confirmation of March. Councillor Mara? Councillor Mara? Just to bring it to you, but please check if the confirmation is there, like what we discussed. Okay, may we continue with the confirmation of minutes? It's in the in-camera, Councillor Mara, so when it comes to in-camera, you will discuss it. It's not an in-camera position. Yes, you can confirm it because you have to prove it's there, in camera.
I'm looking, I'm searching for it.
Okay?
So you need to wait until I'm finishing with the searching of the MOU. Am I out of line?
Yes, you are. Thank you, Councillor Mara. Can I have a proposal and secondment?
It's not there, Honourable Mayor, the MOU discussion is not there, it's not been answered.
Okay. Can we have a proposal and secondment on a confirmation of minutes? Proposed by Councillor Lalani. I have a secondment. Seconded by Councillor Joey. Can we then move over to point 5? CO, just make sure when it comes to the in-camera, that the questions of Councillor Mara will reflect in the in-camera, because that is what you said on the record. Number 5, official announcements, statements, and communication. Yes, you may, CEO.
Oh, sorry. I just have one or two announcements, Your Worship. The other one is that the Honorable Regional Councillor of the Reward Urban West constituency, Mr. Kamburuti, he submitted various correspondence to us in terms of requests that he made, and also a request that at least we should come together in discussing issues like the old pavilion at Volstreesvlakte. This is one of the issues that he wants to come, but he was requesting that he want the council at least to give him a slot when the councillors are available, all of the councillors are available at least maybe next week or what, so that he can have an discussion with council or presentation on the way forward and what he has done so far. And his request was whether it's informal or formal, it doesn't matter. He just want to engage with the Reward Town Council during next week or at a time that we can schedule so that he can come and sit with us. This is one of the things. And then the other thing is that, as you all know, the OWOP electricity regional distribution unit is almost now running, but there were some issues where Keetmanshoop, I think municipality is not part of it anymore, but Reward is still part of it. And the other thing is that the board chairman and the CEO requested to meet with the council, also to give council a sort of a heads up, what is going on now, what can be planned in the future and so on. Because like today they are busy with, they have been invited to a meeting by the minister or the ED of Mines and Energy, most of the rates, to give presentations like today as we are sitting. So they also want to give Reward Town Council a heads up on what is the way forward and so on. Then the last one that I'm having is that we have received communication on the housing census, the census that will take place, the normal housing census by the Statistics Agency. They have requested information which we have sent to the technical department and all the other relevant departments to gather and to send it to them. And hopefully they will also enlighten us on the way forward. Then the last one, the Anti-Corruption Commission has requested Reward Town Council to, like we have done in 2019, we have done this exercise in 2018, 2019, for a 4-day workshop, which they want to conduct here with our employees and some of the other staff members. Even councillors can partake in the exercise. But we have currently LED, I think LED is busy now with the facilitation and the coordination of the workshop from the 2nd of June to the 3rd or 4th of June, where they are going to conduct as sensitizing workshops, campaigning workshops, just to give at least an indication how the process, how the strategic plan of the Anti-Corruption Commission is working, what the strategies are. So because this is an engagement that they are going to do with all local authorities and all towns, to engage them in the bigger strategic plan. You will remember, after this exercise, all of us will then be invited to Windhoek, where they will draft or present the strategic 5-year plan or the plans that they have in place in terms of strategic plan for anti-corruption and so on. So this exercise is now scheduled for Reward from the 2nd to the 3rd or the 4th. The programs, we have indicated to them that yes, we will arrange and facilitate the process and coordinate so that participants can be there for the 3-day or 4-day course in order to be learned and to have a heads up on how the commission is conducting their work, ethics and so on. This is all, Your Worship, so far. If there's anything, maybe somebody else can enlighten or remind me on that one. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you, CEO. We move on then to point 6, interviews with deputation or person summoned or requested to attend the meeting of a council. We already had that exercise. Number 7, petition, none. Number 8, CEO.
I was just thinking whilst the exercise was already done with Lingua, because we indicated to them that what is the way forward. Now, at least, council should at least now, disclose itself on the stance on how they feel about the workshop or how they feel about the presentation, and they give direction to Edmund now. What is the way forward? What can we do from here on? Because I'm just afraid when we leave it like this, the next meeting will probably not be able, or the next time will not be able to engage anymore. So from the council side, we need a direction to say what can we do, how will we go about it in order to make sure that once we start with this exercise, we know that the portfolio councillors, the staff members that has to work on it, has now a mandate to engage further on.
Thank you, CEO. I believe that we will have another meeting, as discussed with the founders, in somewhere next week, council together with them in Windhoek, whereby they will take us through, and then we will have further briefings, and from there, the portfolio councillors together with the administration will then have directives that they must follow, and then submit to the administration, and then to the management, and then to the council for council to discuss further and elaborate further on the way forward. So the next step is for the council, and together with the relevant support staff, to go to Lingua, whereby we will have further discussions then. Anything else, Councillor Jackie, that you just want to add?
Yes, Worship, I think it's that is about all, but what needs to be done is there are two instances where we will collaborate with Lingua. One is the memorandum of understanding, which look at things, how we can benefit from them. That is the one side. The other one is setting up of a satellite campus that we are also looking at. So when next week's tour to the campus of Lingua is for all the councillors to be part and to see what are the operation in actuality at Lingua, and then so that we can the councillors are comfortable, and then there will be a task force from us that site where, and also a task force from their site, where we will put together the areas of cooperation that we want, and then we will sign. But there, after the councillors are going to Windhoek and come back, then it means that the task force will now have due dates for certain milestones in the collaboration project, and also it will be meetings coming here for a meeting, and the task force going there for a meeting. But we are hoping to set up the campus for next year, so that we benefit from also the recently announced government initiative that says that higher education will be free for all. So we would want the campus to be set up, and also for the institution to get themselves ready to benefit from this project of this initiative that was announced by the government, and also for our learners to be able to. They are also embarking on what do they call career fairs. They will be also coming to the local schools very soon, in the next 2 weeks, where they would also want to lobby students to go study with them. So that is basically all. We will have now to set dates after we come back. But in principle, I think we need to see as councillors, do we agree with the collaboration, so that this meeting can already direct? We do agree. And do we agree with the setting up of it? Of course, we agreed, because we said go and find higher institutions in Windhoek. So that in all sums up.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. Then we move. Desiree.
Thank you, Your Worship. Maybe just for the sake of the meeting, on the meeting that we had yesterday with Lingua, we agreed that the follow-up meeting would be the other week, since the myself and the team that is assigned on this project will not be available next week because we're going for training from the office of the Prime Minister, the whole of the task team. But meanwhile, because of that program, we agreed yesterday that the follow-up would be the other week. So I'm not sure, but the memorandum we've shared.
The councillors are going next week.
Okay.
Because we are not part of that team.
Oh, okay.
So the councillors are going next week. Sorry. Ms. Worship.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Number 8, motions of members.
Can I just repeat mine again? That went missing?
That's fine. Motion of members. Okay, move on. Number 9, answers to questions of members of which notice was given. I'm repeating myself, motion of members, none of the councillors answering, then I move on. Yes, you?
We have, I think, 4 motions. The one is the renaming of streets to prominent Namibians. The other one is dead, excuse me. Was it, oh, these ones? They're done, why are you putting it one? Okay, the ones that we are having here is the one of the, is it the donation of ERF now 109? The donation of ERF 109 Block B to the current occupants, Mr. Ronald Bekes. And then it's from Councillor Venus Klassen. And then we have a motion from Councillor Mara Bekes, provision of electricity and water services to various areas in the community. And then we also have another one of Councillor Mara Bekes on the renovation of the Rio Spa bungalows. And, yes, and the rearward sign, and the sign that was put up here. There's another motion that Councillor Mara Bekes would also like to emphasize on. So, normally, the basic rule is that the members read the motions, and then the chairperson of the council decide whether the motions will be accepted, and then there is a 1 or 2 minute debate on the motions before we can proceed for final decision making.
Thank you, Sio. Councillors? With the motions? Councillors, you have to remember, because we didn't receive these motions beforehand. So when I call, you know exactly who you are, who announced the motions and who must actually talk about the motions. But if you keep quiet, then I have to move on, because silence means that I move on, because you don't want, confirmation, because you don't want to announce your motions. So can you please work together, or either I must move on and then continue? So you know who handed in motions. The CEO has just announced now the motions, so please announce your motions.
Just like to indicate, Your Worship, because of the postponement of meetings sometimes, and even during these public holidays and everything, it became so difficult for Edmund and the councillors to engage actively on the submission of some of the motions. That is why the motions were announced in the last meetings, and only the preparation of the motions did we oversee and said, okay, even if it comes the last minute, because of the public holidays and these things that intertwine in some of the activities of council, we accepted it. It's only rightfully, as His Worship now saying, that the councillors can now read the motions so that the mayor can then, or the chairperson can then decide whether to accept it or not.
Thank you, CEO. It's well understood, and it's reasonable to say that why we received the motions late. But when I'm calling out for the motions, I want the councillors to contribute and communicate with their motions. Councillor Venus' motion, he asked to say that can he perhaps postpone his motion because his motion was not printed by the supporting staff. He only has it on his hard copy. So that's excuse. That's fine. The other councillors, I see there is motions. Can that motions then continue?
Thank you. Notice of motion in terms of Rule 13.1 of the Standing Rules of Council Government Gazette, 2nd April 2015, number 5705. And the date of the motion is the 12th of May 2025. Aymara Amalia Bekes, a member of the council, gives notice in accordance with Rule 13.1 of the Standing Rules of Local Authority Councils, Government Gazette number 5705 of 2nd April 2015 in connection with the following matter. Provision of electricity and water services to various areas in the community. The council has responsibility for the provision of basic services to the community as per the Local Authority Act 23 of 1992 as amended. This responsibility is aimed at ensuring that the basic human rights and dignity of the community at large is observed and upheld. This motion is therefore aimed at bringing these services to the communities that so directly need them. The recommendation to Council that the Council make use of the estimated 200 street light bulbs and high mask lights, including street lights in Block C, in areas that are prone to darkness in the community. Some of the identified areas include, but are not limited to Burgershoek, Volstruisvlakte, Bahnhof Proper, Oano Park, Block A in the streets between Okkies Supermarket and the whatever church, VGK Church, Rooiduin 1, Extension Ian and Bahnhof between Puma and the police station area, and that the council installs standpipes for water provision in the informal areas such as Volstruisvlakte, Bahnhof and Bahnhof Proper and Burgershoek. The current locations makes it difficult for the communities that are further away to easily access these points. That the Finance Division ensures that financial provision is made for any implications arising from this motion. I request the Chief Executive Officer to acknowledge the receipt of this motion in writing. I thank you. I so submit.
Thank you, Councillor Mara, for the motion. I accept the motion, the announcement of this motion. Then we continue discussion. This is just announcement. Oh, because the way the motion starts is saying announcement of the motion. But it's fine. It's giving notice. That's how it started. That's why I thought you are giving notice on the accordance, but it's fine. Open for discussions, councillors. Sorry. That was from my side. Councillors, it's open for discussion. Councillor Jackie, before I just acknowledge you, I just want to tell Councillor Mara I'm very sorry for my mistake that I made by thinking it was just a notice that was announced. But in fact, she already announced the motion, so therefore it's open for discussions. Councillor Jackie, you may.
His Worship, I would like to say on the motion itself, in terms of street lights in Block C, I agree with all the identified areas, but I would like to add Block H, maybe a high mask, if allowed, because that area from the road of the graveyard up till Woodstock, that has become a crime-prone area, and there is no lighting, and so that should be looked into to add to these areas where lighting is requested by the Honourable Councillor. And also in the areas of Block F, where I'm residing also, there's absolutely no light. And then in terms of that, if we are looking for street lights, it might be that just my opinion, it might be that it will be a capital project and it might take a long time. But in the meantime, we can look at high mask lights. Is it high mask? Those lights in these identified areas, because seriously, even in the mornings, learners are coming from Volkshuisvlakte and Burgershoek. They are on their way to Nkranqa Primary and also Vooruitzicht for classes or for school, and then it's very dark. So if we can look at that areas, especially the area where our pump is, the sewage pump is, next to the graveyard, there is a lot of crime that recently takes place. So I would like to amend, or if allowed, to add block F as well as that area to the given motion.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. Councillor MCJ.
I would like to add, even for HIMARS, even if it's solar, I would like to add some sun also there. Councillor Mara, I would like to add some sun, even if it's HIMARS, and I would like to add Block D, the oldest street, also here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, MCJ. Councillor Mara.
Thank you, Your Worship. Councillors, I did make provision within the motion for these are the identified areas included but are not limited. So everything that you wish, we add it here and make it one motion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any councillor still on this motion want to contribute something? Nothing? Already accepted the motion, so we can move on to the next motion. Proposed by Councillor Joey, seconded by Councillor Mara. Councillor Amanda, sorry. Councillor Mara, the next motion of yours?
Thank you. Motion in terms of Rule 13.1 of the Standing Rule in Council Government Gazette 5705. Date of motion, today's date. I, Mara Amalia Beek, as a member of the Council, gives notice in accordance with Rule 13 of the Standing Rules of for Local Authority Councils, Government Gazette number 5705 of 2nd April 2015 in connection with the following matter. Renovation of the Rio Spa Bungalow as per Phase 2. The Council has received substantial ministerial support from the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development for the restoration and renovation of the treasured Rio Spa and bungalows in lieu of the successful completion of Phase 1 and the provision of funds for the commencement of Phase 2, whereas the Council must ensure that we utilize the funds provided in an effective and efficient manner. The following recommendations to the Council, but it's open for Council to set recommendations collectively as a standard for this project. That the Council make use of our qualified technicians for the electrical and plumbing requirements for Phase 2, and then saving substantial on the expenses thereof. That the Council make use of small value procurement for the repairs of the bungalows, ensuring that bill of quantities as per the specifications provided to the ministry is adhered to. That the Council start with Phase 2 as of end of May until August 2025. And that the Council procure the material for the renovations of the spa and use the current foreman to ensure that the work and materials are supervised. RFQ or the request for the quotations to local contractors in order to guarantee and ensure that workforce is from our town, localize the work in order to have a give and take concept, the workforce to have an ERF number, and by earning they pay their respective municipal accounts, that the finance division ensures that financial provision is made for any implications arising from this motion. And then I also include for your kind attention the Rehoboth sign, which was already a motion, and then include with it the tourism office. The Rehoboth lights that were installed on the side of the mountain was done so to be a beacon of light to the community, and as such must be lit 24/7. There has been issues with the lighting that must be addressed to ensure that even when the town experiences a power outage, that the light will remain on. Furthermore, the tourism office must be located close by the Rehoboth sign to draw the attention of tourists passing through the town. The recommendation to the council that the council procure the necessary services to ensure that the Rehoboth sign is lit 24/7, and that the council further procure the necessary services for the erection of 3 crosses behind the sign, as well as to have the rocks painted white at the sign, and that the council relocate the tourism office to the areas close to the sign next to the B1 road, allowing maximum tourist attraction. Thank you. I so submit.
Thank you, Councillor Mara. I accept the motion, and then I will allow for discussion on this motion. Councillor Joey.
Thank you, Your Worship. No, actually, I don't have much to say because we discussed it in length. The 3 portfolio councillors discussed it in length. What I wanted to add is that we should make use of a project manager that can oversee the electricians, the plumbers, the builders. One person that will be responsible for every section underneath. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Joey. Councillor Amanda.
Thank you, Your Worship. As Councillor Mara, as well as Councillor Joey already elaborated, this is, yes, a project that had 3 aims. First of all, it's job creation for the local skilled people in Rehoboth. And next one is the job skills transfer. And the last but not the least is the saving of funds. As Councillor Joey mentioned there, it will also be very good that we can have project managers in the different fields, like a project manager who's overhead of the painters, a project manager for the builders, carpenters, tilers, and when we are going to make use of this project managers, the small value procurement will also then be underneath them. So we also think about to have concrete furniture and not the normal furniture that we have, due to the following reasons. It is also long-lasting, it's durable, it is anti-theft, it's cheaper, and it will also going to give a very unique character at Rio Spa. Thank you, Councillor Mara, that we already mentioned there a time frame. We want to start at the end of May, and we will be, we will try to be finished at the end of August. Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Therefore, I propose.
Thank you,
Okay, that's why I
Councillor-
propose.
Councillor Amanda, thank you. There's still hands been raised. Councillor
Or are they
Jackie.
still?
Yes, Worship, thank you for allowing my contribution. What is important there is we don't want the process to be tendered out so that it can go to one individual. But surely we have the various divisions in our council itself who is head by an electrician. Then we have a plumber, that is the chief one, or whoever we have. So if we can in-house these things without a glorified name such as a project manager, I would really appreciate that one. In terms of project management, it's just the tendering process. The person has no idea from the work out that is not practically doing the work, but gets the most money. So I like the idea that we are sharing it amongst and the revenue will stay in town. But what I want to know is a project manager should not be glorified. People must be there, people must work, and more houses must have food on their table. In the same vein, the council must get the service it promised, and there should be monitoring, effective monitoring, and a whole plan set out. That's actually what I wanted to add. Whole plan of time frame set out and interventions done on time, so that we can finish with this tourism attraction, as many people are waiting for this tourism attraction. So I would slightly differ from my councillors in terms of a project manager, but I would say if we are agreeing on in terms of different people from our town benefiting on small scale and then collectively, but I don't know how effective or how law abiding in terms of the tender procurement process it will be, but that is why we have CEOs to guide us. So that is just my contribution.
Councillor Joey.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Councillor Jackie, what I mean by project manager, we have electrician. He can be the project manager for, it's not somebody from outside. Yeah, he can be the project manager for the electrical work in the bungalows. Yeah.
Thank you, councillors. CEO, regarding it's a capital project money, give you guidance on the procedures, if this is okay, so that we can just follow.
Thank you, Worship, and I will give my advice under correction. Yes, normally the normal procurement processes is like that. When you conduct work, especially like now at the Rios Power with capital funding like that, is that we need to have various procurement methods, such as small procurement and so on. But once I went so far to look at the procurement regulations. Now regulations, especially section 28 of the regulation, is clear when it say qualification requirement for contractors of works, where it indicate what the person should have, what type of works can the person do. But then I went further on, and when I look at the qualifications requirement for contractors, you normally find that it's normally a contractor or even a consultant that you need to appoint with all those criteria and so on. But then I went further and looked at section 31 of the procurement guidelines. The procurement guidelines say, for instance, that a technical capacity to perform consultant and non-consultant service contracts. Now, where I've found myself to see that probably the conduct of work where the councillor has put in a motion that we need to have more people to do this type of work is that you can probably appoint, as we all say, a project manager. Yes, but it can be a non-consultant for service contracts where you appoint somebody or you even appoint a consultant. Just to give you a scenario, what we did in Rehoboth Urban East previously, when we constructed the toilets in that area, Vandu Consulting Engineers was one of the consultants that was appointed. And under Vandu Consulting Engineers were artisans, people that were employed and told that each one of you will get 5 or 10 toilets to construct, that one artisan. And he or she had to construct those toilets. And at the end of the day, when payment was done, it went through the payment certificate with Window Consulting Engineer, where they were given payments under the supervision of that specific consultant. Now we can more or less look at that direction in terms of procurement methods. By having that person where we can have the contractors under the specific consultant or non-consultant that have to work, and then these people are now paid through us, through the consultant, to them for the work that they have conducted. It means then their specific consultant or non-consultant, it doesn't have to be a consultant in fact. It can be a person who knows all these nitty-gritties in terms of Section 28, where that person will now be able to monitor and see what everybody has done. Your name is on his list. The payment certificate are sent through to Rieber Town Council. We pay and make sure that everyone on the list is getting the monies due to them. Meaning the person, electrical artisan, sewerage artisan, whoever, whatever is needed at the place in terms of the terms of reference that procurement can probably draw up. We can look at it in that manner to see that everybody at least is able, because in the past when we did that, everybody, all those 15 contractors in that area were not contractors, artisans, were able to get work and were able to make sure that there's food on the table for everybody. So I was merely looking at Section 28 and Section 31 of the procurement guidelines to see where they can fit in. But we have to appoint, as we said, that project manager that will have to oversee and monitor everything that has been done there, and he will be overall responsible to see that the work is conducted in the correct manner and that people, those artisans are working under him or her, are paid on time through the provision of this contract. It's probably what I can advise so far, but we still need to look into the modalities by engaging the procurement committee that this is the way we can go probably. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you, CEO. Councillors? Councillor Jackie?
It is important that we give direction to the administration in terms of what they should do when they go out of this meeting. So in terms of consultants, I'm looking at, is it for quality assurance that someone that has been tested and that is in the industry must be able to look at it and oversee the project? If that is the case, then it is workable. But if the council feels that we have our in-house people that can oversee and quality is not compromised, then it's also fine for me.
Councillors, there's two options. Which is the direction that you really want to give? Can we send both for valuation and then come for the procurement then to make out of the two the best option? Is that safer? Better to do that, and then they will come back to us, to the council once they have a solution for that. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be still interaction before final decision, council and administration and procurement. Is that fine?
Really clearly indicate in terms of the procurement guidelines, what the procurement committee can probably also look at in terms of these two sections that I've indicated, and also the criteria, because I'm just afraid that we might forget if we say procurement, look at this, and they will not look at the procurement guidelines. Let's look at the procurement guidelines. Let's look at the examples that was there in the past, because if I've indicated non-consultancy services means that you are still practically involved in the whole monitoring and overseeing and implementation of the project. A consultant, for instance, is normally only a person who dish out the work. You do that, this is my client, you do this, you do what you are supposed to do, being appointed under the procurement. Non-consultancy means the person is actively involved and see that the workmanship is correctly executed as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we are going with the non-compliance.
Non-consultant.
Non-consultants, sorry. Non-consultants. Okay, can we just add that on the motion then? The non-consultants. DM?
Thank you, Worship. Can I just add on something there? I think if we are not allowed to go via non-consultants I think we must look at the ones we've given already so much work here in Rehoboth and ask them in the form of a donation by checking for us the scope of the work whenever we go over to the renovation of our second or third phase. Instead of charging us, they can do it in the form of free of charge.
Councillor Jackie, normally you only have one time to propose, but you may continue on this one because it's your third chance now.
It's my second chance on this point. His Worship, I hear what the DM is saying, but I think those are businesses in our local businesses and they must earn money. We can maybe negotiate on a discounted price or something if we go that route. Because we really would want them to continue in business. So I'm just saying, but we can consider all the odds.
Thank you, councillors. That is exactly what my view is for us to not to have create any loopholes or any, because the councillors wants to be part in the process and giving proper direction so that this project can be successful, but in the same time for us not to create any unnecessary loopholes. And then I will ask then for the proposal and secondment for this motion. Councillor Jackie proposed and Councillor Venus seconded it. Thank you, councillors. Is there any other motions? Okay.
Thanks, Your Worship. It seems that the previous one of IRF 709, which of the donation to the Bekers family, have disappeared between me, Mr. Vinswai, as well as the support. I don't know, maybe it's Mr. Vinswai's Tokolosi working on something. I retract my words. I want to give notice for next month for the IRF 709. And then my second one will be also for next month. 709, Block B, the Bekers family, which owns the property for more than 100 years without, it's nowhere to find. Yeah, but it's not. Is it 109? No, 709. Last month. Is it 109? Sorry, my apologies. 109 then, yeah. Thanks, Mr. Marks. My second notice of motion.
Honorable DM, IRF 109 will be coming through the next AM meeting, management meeting.
Oh, okay. Is it the?
Yes. (109). Yes.
May I proceed? Notification. My last one, the relocating of small and private entrepreneurs who are operating their daily private businesses amongst residential properties to a special earmarked light industrial area. That's noticed for next month. Shall I repeat? Relocating of small and private entrepreneurs who are operating their daily private business amongst residential properties. Okay. I thank you.
It's a notification.
It's just a notification. Okay.
Your Worship, maybe just for the sake of information, the small and medium traders or the street vendors, there is a task team assigned and we are working on it for a specialized location for them. So I'm not sure if we should put in as a motion or maybe report on what has been done.
Okay, that's something different that you announced, no?
No, it is the same thing.
Can I just go? This one is referring specifically to motor mechanics, welders, panel beaters, spray painters and brick making. These guys who operating in the residential area, not in our streets. Thank you. I thank you.
Thank you, DM. Any other notice that must be given? Okay, Councillor Mara and then Councillor Amanda. Wil je namens om een motion notice? Ja, je kan.
Unfortunately, thank you, Mr. Chair. I need to announce on behalf of Councillor Cheki, which has excused himself for notice for a motion for next month. I don't have the name of it yet. But just so that you give him space.
Is there any reference? Okay, perhaps I will give notice that side and you could quickly ask him just for a reference for you. Can you quickly just call him and just ask the reference while I'm just giving the other councillors also their notices? Councillor Amanda?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to give notice for the next council meeting. I have more than 4, but I'm going just maybe to divide them into different. Next time I will give again a notice. So the first notice.
Sorry, Councillor Amanda. Councillor Venus gave 1 notice. Councillor Jackie is giving 1 notice.
And I have 2.
And you have 2, then
Only
it's 4.
2. I will only get 2.
Then it's
yeah.
4 motions because we must only handle 4 motions. Notice.
There is only a notice. Motions must only be 4.
But
That was
if
accepted.
I accept the motions more, then the next month's motions will be for more than 4.
No, you can still, you don't need to accept more than 4.
Yeah, but
I mean, quickly, Your Worship, the thing is, you,
Ja, ik kan mijn notification kijk.
that is a prerogative then of us. It will come to my office before the motion can be submitted to the council. Those, it can be 5 motions or 6 motions here, a notice being given. And then it comes to my office, I will have to indicate that there's already 4 or 5, the maximum is 4, so I can only accept 4. So it will already, the bucket will already stop at our office before it can go to council, although the notice can be given. So it means that there must be priority being given up to the 4th one, who will go through, who will not go through. That is where me and the mayor, the chairperson will consult.
CEO, the reason why I don't want more than 4 motions at the notice is because when it comes to the decision,
yes.
who handed in the first motion, who handed in the second motion, and
Yeah.
it becomes a debate. So therefore, let us get the motion at the notice also just for the unnecessary, because when it comes to the motions, which one will be allowed now and which one will not be allowed, and then it becomes again a debate. So yes. So Councillor Amanda, you are actually, after your motion, it's 4. So you may continue with your 2 motions.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure on that one. Sorry, Councillor Amanda, but you may proceed now with your notice of motion.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think my hand was up before the DM and everyone, but I'm going on with my 2 motions. On notice, yes, the first one is the, oh, you can't see me. My first notice of a motion is the caravan park opposite Rio Spa to be developed in an amphitheatre for music festivals, community church services, culture events, together also with, I think we already have that donation from a previous person for a play park. So that is now the caravan park opposite Rio Spa to develop in an amphitheatre together with a play park. And the next one, the next motion will be a twinning agreement with Lions Club Namibia /International and Rehoboth Town Council in looking for funding to upgrade the terminal bath at Rio Spa to international standards as a wellness center. Thank you, Your Worship. That is now my two motions. Notice for the motions.
Thank you, Councillor Amanda. Councillor Mara, did you perhaps get a name for your motion?
Yes, for Councillor Jackie's motion, it is housing delivery.
Housing delivery.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Number 8 is finished with motions of members. Then I'll continue with number 9, answers to questions of members of which notice was given, none. Number 10, report of management committee referred to in section 26. Number 9.
Worship, I have two questions, but where's the CEO now?
You may continue because it will be recorded and monitored for him.
Okay,
Because it's just the questions he must answer
okay.
on the next one.
This is an email I wrote to Mr. Winswai. Dear Mr. Winswai, I please want answers on the council meeting of today about this above matters. Our town, and maybe also the Kuala town of Namibia, is in total chaos. All blocks, open urban, riverbeds, public open spaces and streets are a rubbish yard. Rehoboth is the most, at this stage, dirtiest town in Namibia. What is the way forward towards RTC with this town of us? Secondly, there were two motions accepted by councillors years ago, brought by Councillor Mara and Councillor Jackie for open markets as Jane Store as well as in Block E. But is only talking from technocrat side. Both were also budgeted for. Now the street vendors take over in the CBD areas of the town. We as council also visited northern towns to look at the open markets, but nothing happened in Rehoboth. Now I please want to answer, how far are we with these two motions of us? Thank you in advance, Councillor Mara. Councillor Amanda.
Councillor Mara.
Mr. Chair, I also forwarded a couple of questions from the community via the CEO and I think also via you, Mr. Chair. So can I proceed so that it can be in the minutes?
Yes, you may.
Okay. These are not necessarily my questions, but these questions are coming through me to the council from the side of the community. Double allocation on ERF 296, Block G, Extension 2, allocated to Mr. Swartz on the 19th of November 2020 as per advertisement in the local newspaper, but in 2011, Mr. Cornelius van Wyk was on the same ERF. So RTC sold this ERF in 2012 to Mr. Leonard van Wyk, which is now the third owner. And as of 2024-2025 until date, this is the ERF where the contractor had a site who assisted RTC with sewage lines in Block G. So now the question is, who is now the owner? Is it still Mr. Leonard van Wyk? Or is it the contractor that is currently there? And what is council's stand towards Mr. Swart of 2010 and Mr. Cornelius van Wyk of 2011? Also, on the same question, another question. How does double allocations occur within RTC's database? How and why? My second question. The taxi rank for long distance operators, buses and 7-seaters, can our town plan perhaps allocate the area? This long outstanding issue, both bus owners, drivers and 7-seaters are calling with lots of frustration and begging for a loading zone. There was also a meeting with Mr. Van Wyk, Mr. Jannie Van Wyk, of which I believe there was a discussion on a possible erf close to Cap Agri. Question 3. Allocation of Erwin to the next in line of Rukoro double allocation and other beneficiaries in Block E behind the new cemetery. Can our council take action in order to allocate during Saturdays for the remaining period of our term? There's a school within walking distance in Block H, and residents might move quicker to occupy their Erwin. Question number 4. Mr. Johnny Klassen, and I hope I do have the surname especially correct. I'm not sure, but there's 2 issues. The permit to harvest wood, and then his municipal account of 36,000 Namibian dollars, and also $500,000 Namibian dollars. So there's 2 different municipal accounts. The 36,000 is for the period 2010 until 2022 for large livestock, of which Mr. Klassen never had large livestock. According to the stock brand certificate, it shows that Mr. Klassen never had large livestock. Am I correct on that surname? Klassen. The $500,000 account, which he received last week by notification from our council, is for 900 ton harvest. He only harvests 2 times 34 ton respectively. The argument is, with a permit issued by the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, and also a permit from the RTC, why is he not able to harvest dead trees as a means of income, while the NDF, Namibia Defence Force, do have a permit, and a certain Mr. Emmanuel, outside of NDF, has a permit of which they harvest from the camp of the area of the Melkery. This is only dead wood he harvests, and therefore no harm to the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mara. Is all the questions been noted on the number 9? Okay, it's recorded anyway, so for clarification's sake. Councillor Joey?
I just wanted to add something. 1 minute. Wait for the answers.
The answer on the harvest hood, the
Yeah,
dead
the harvest
trees, but it's not the time.
And
Thank you. Mr. Chair, change the surname, Salome, from that, what did I put there? Lucas to Klassen on the question 4. Thank you.
Thank you. And then number 9, report of the management committee referred to in section 26, subsection 1, paragraph E of the Act, none. Recommendation of the management committee agenda, ordinary council. Office of the mayor, office of the CEO, 11.2.1, I believe, is this approval hosting the first Rio Expo. Is it correct, Salome? Under the 11.2.1. Remember the office of the CEO. Yes, 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 well,
Is it that?
clean it out. Yeah.
Thank you. Approval for hosting the first Rehoboth Business and Tourism Expo 2025. Local economic development and tourism promotion remain integral pillars of Rehoboth, of Council's strategic vision for the town of Rehoboth. In line with this, Council recently delegated officials and councillors to benchmark the Ludgerus Crayfish Festival, which took place from 29th of April to 5th of May 2025, to conceptualize and plan a similar event tailored to the socio-economic landscape of Rehoboth. This submission serves to obtain council approval for the hosting of the inaugural Rehoboth Business and Tourism Expo 2025 as a strategic initiative aimed at showcasing community businesses, promoting youth talent and marketing Rehoboth as a key tourism and investment destination. Recommendation. It is recommended that the council approve the hosting of the first ever Rehoboth Tourism Expo 2025, scheduled for 26 October to the 3rd of November 2025 as a strategic local economic development event. The council endorse H25 Marketing as the official marketing and entertainment coordinator for the event, subject to the finalization of a formal agreement. That council allocate technical and logistical support through relevant departments to ensure the successful implementation of the Rehoboth Tourism Expo 2025. The officials who participated in the Ludgerus Crayfish Festival benchmarking exercise shall be formally designated at the core organizing committee and will oversee the coordination and overall management of the event. Additional officials from other departments shall be co-opted and assigned specific roles during the planning and implementation phase based on operational needs. That any financial contribution from council be subject to the availability of funds under the current budget and compliance with the procurement regulations. That council consider registering the Rehoboth Tourism Expo as an annual signature event under its events calendar. That management be directed to formally approach the Rehoboth Show Society Committee to request permission for the use of the showgrounds to host the event, as the setup and the infrastructure of the facility are most suitable for an event of this nature. Conclusion. Your favorable consideration of this submission will significantly enhance Rehoboth's visibility as a destination for tourism, investment, and cultural celebration. It also aligns with Council's mandate to stimulate local economic activity and foster community pride. Ronald Benswai.
Thank you, MC Chair. It's quite straightforward, councillors. Can we have approval? Councillor Joey, Councillor Mara. Councillor Joey proposed. Councillor Mara? Yes, he's proposing.
Before we propose, approval for the hosting of the first ever Rehoboth Business and Tourism Expo 2025. This is an opportunity, but this is a serious opportunity. And it's definitely not if I say serious, then I don't want to compare it with the crayfish nonsense. I went there to observe as a councillor. And the team that we are now going to put here in the planning, I think that team most of them were there in Lüderitz to learn. My concern that I'm having, and I need to say it straightforward, is that there was a lot of waste of money there based on the only person that was actually very much active, according to my eyesight, was the public relation officer running from this meeting to that engagement to whatever engagement. But as for the rest, were they having a reason that they were supposed to be there? And I'm talking here about administrators of this council. Now, I understood, and I need to say this on record, and it looks like everybody is ashamed at the moment, but you should not be. You know, I'm having a problem with wasting money of community. And if you are going to the Crayfish Festival to have a stall there, then you need to have the stall writing in big bold, Rehoboth Town Council, and present Rehoboth Town Council. There was a lot of material that was purchased. There was never a stall in Lüderitz. What happened? Mr. Chair, if someone of this council could explain to me, was there an accident whereby we lost the items where we were supposed to go in we were supposed to be an exhibitor in one of those corporate halls. What happened? Am I wrong? So we even hired a car to take the things there. Where are the things today? Did we bring them back? Are they back here? How much did we pay for a possible stall? And I don't want answers today, unfortunately. But I want us not to make the same type of mistakes with the best ever opportunity that we are having to host the first Rehoboth Business and Tourism Expo, because we should be experts based on the fact that what we have learned from Lüderitz. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mara. Piero?
Your Worship, I'm not sure what to answer, but maybe on the stall, it was unfortunately cancelled by the Expo Society. I'm not sure what were the reasons, but we have submitted the report to that end to the CEO. We have brought the marketing material that Honorable Mara is referring to has been purchased through the PR office. All of it are in my office, and it's for the expos that we'll also host. It's equipment for marketing, which includes gazebos and banners and all that. But our stall was cancelled last minute at the expo. Possibly due to the Lüderitz Town Council not being involved. I'm really not sure, but we were dropped at last minute and everything was already planned. But there is a report that we have submitted to the CEO, the whole team we had assigned different roles. That's
Thank
all
you.
I can.
Thank you, Piero, because there is my same reasoning that even though it was cancelled, everyone had their role from administration and they did as it was requested from them. So yes, it is a crayfish festival. Yes, they went out and it was a function because it's a fun type of thing. You go out, you do your things. When you are done, you have your social live. But I mean, I can't come and say that with my eye, are we going as councillors to go and monitor? Is it our function now to monitor when administrations are going for an event whereby they must go and present? And that is my thinking here. I think it's actually out of line, it was said, because we are not monitoring them. We are there to assist them and to collaborate and ask and discuss on the way forward when we come back with a report. And they did their task, even though their stall were cancelled. They did not use the time to had a jolly ride, but rather they went in their different capacity on the mandate that was given, the direction they were given, and they executed it. And they came back with the report on what they went for. And there's a report that was being drawn up, and there's a physical report to show what they did there. So, for me, it's actually a bit of a shock, but okay, I do add in respect. It's perhaps a view. The site is seeing the expo, but we are trying to handle on the expo. We are not trying to have a feedback meeting on the Crayfish Festival. This is a meeting where we discuss on the business and the tourism expo for us for 2025. This is our expo, our first expo, tourism expo. So can we then stop, councillors? Can we then just continue with the current recommendation in front of us and continue on that? Thank you. Councillor? Okay.
I wanted to say something.
You propose, Councillor Joey?
I wanted to say something. Honestly.
Councillor Joey?
As,
Yes,
yes.
acknowledge you.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. As MC of this council, management, the chairperson of the management committee, whether I say it's too much money that you want to spend. for
Sorry,
what-
Councillor Joey. Sorry, that is not the point.
No,
We
no,
are
no.
working, sorry, Councillor Joey,
I have
order.
to state my
No,
point.
No. We are busy on the submission you read,
Yes,
the expo.
that's what
We
I
are not
understand.
talking about a feedback meeting of the Crayfish Festival. This agenda point is regarding on the tourism expo. Please. Because this is not a report. Wait until you receive the report from the Crayfish Festival, then you elaborate regarding the Crayfish Festival. This is not the Crayfish Festival report. This is submission for the expo.
All right. Okay.
Yes. There is approval needed for the expo.
That's, I just want to say, I will not say anything about the crayfish or anything about whatever. As MC, I have the right to raise my voice when I see.
On the right point.
Yeah, but.
Is this the correct point as MC?
The crayfish was mentioned.
No,
in
Councillor,
this-
it was mentioned to
Yes.
as a benchmarking, not
You
as a
see.
feedback.
Now the people can see how I am, as a MC chair.
Councillor Joey, just listen.
undermined.
Just listen. There is a report of the Crayfish Festival that will be shared with the councillors, and on that report, you can give your grievances or your differences and discuss it there. This is a submission for the Rehoboth Business and Tourism Expo. So handle it on the expo. Wait for the report. There must be order. Even though you have a right to speak, you have the right to speak the proper information at the proper place, at the proper recommendation. Thank you, Chair. There was a proposal made by Councillor Lalani. Councillor Amanda.
Through your worship, Councillor Joey, let us wait for the report and then we can ask our questions. Because I also have a lot of questions, but I withdraw my questions until we receive the report.
Thank you, Councillor Amanda, for just understanding that. I'm not saying you do not have the right to speak your mind regarding the crayfish, but I'm just saying this is not a submission for it. So can we first handle the submission, There's a proposal from Councillor Lalani on the submission for the expo. Is there any secondment for the expo? Thank you, Councillor Amanda, for seconding the expo of our Freedom of Business and Tourism Expo. Thank you. Then we move on.
11.
I'm really sorry for the intervention, but I just want us to make sure if the dates that we are proposing are in favor of the council. The final week of November that we have proposed. Do we add October, yeah? Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Your Worship. Maybe let me just also make sure about the other towns' expos.
No, normally the towns expos, the PRO will do that normally because normally
Okay,
their
ladies and gentlemen,
expos
just make sure
is in
about it.
July. June, July is normally the northern towns expos. You're talking about the shows.
No, not the shows, the expos
Okay.
of the
Then the
other
expo,
towns.
then the
Let me
PRO just find
make
out
sure.
that.
Yeah, I think Rundu is in their time.
Actually, I'm checking now. I think the one where we amended the dates was probably not included, but Rundu
The
and
date is not really the problem. We
yes.
just accept the motion, the
Yes,
request,
but
and
we
then on the
have
dates we can
proposed-
communicate.
Yes, we have proposed the last week in November.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem. So then we will just continue. We will just communicate regarding the dates in the future. But for now, we just accepted
Your
the.
Worship,
Yes.
at the end of November, we will not be councillors anymore.
End of October.
Yes.
Thank you.
Will we still be here?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. Then we continue. Proposed by Councillor Lalani, proposed it, and Councillor Amanda seconded it. Wat is het eens?
Ja, wat ek is.
11 point,
Hy moet ons in camera 11.4.1.
11.3, Department of the Finance. 11.4, Department of Corporate Affairs and Human Resource Development. 11.4.1. Okay, that I think that point is it here or is it under in camera? Okay. 11.4.1, adjustment of the daily substance allowance and kilometer rates per part 2 municipality town councils, village councils for the 2025-2026 financial year. I hand over then to the MC Chair.
Thank you, Your Worship. This submission serves to inform the Council of the directive issued by the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development on 19 March 2025 regarding adjustment to daily subsistence allowance in kilometer rates. Now, I will go to the vehicle type immediately. Passenger vehicle, two-wheel drive, station wagons, combis, buses, and multi-purpose vehicles with engine stroke up to 1,500. The rate will be $6.13 per kilometer. Then, must I read all this? And for those between 1,510 to 2,000, the rate will be $7.29. For those 2001 to up to 2005, 11.58 per kilometer. This is now for the passenger vehicles. And for those vehicles from 2501 and more, $13.43. Now this 7722 is probably for diesel. Diesel is more expensive than petrol. Then Two-wheel light delivery vehicles, pickups and panel vans with a carrying capacity up to 1 metric ton, up to 1,500, 449, 1501 to 2,000, 593, 2001, this is the engine stroke, to 2,500, 841, 2501 and more, $10.90. And then four-wheel drive station wagons, combis, buses and SUVs. That is 1,500, $9.53. From 1501 to 2000, 11.74 Namibian dollar, 74 cents. And then from those 2001 to 2500, 15 Namibian dollars and 15 cents. And for those more than 2,501, $18 and 18 Namibian dollar and 17 cents. Now, four-wheel drive light delivery vans, pickups and panel vans with a carrying capacity up to 1 metric ton. They've only used two there, 2001 to 2000 to 2,500. This is the engine stroke, is $11.47. And then the 2,501 and more, like the 4.6, 4.5, is $15, 15 Namibian dollar and 7 cents. Motorcycles and scooters with or without sidecars, including those with built-in pedals, 2 Namibian dollars and 75 cents. The following is to be noted regarding the kilometer tariff for staff members receiving motor vehicle allowances. Staff members in this category is compensated for work-related trips at the duty station up to 500 kilometers. If monthly kilometers driven are in excess of 500 kilometers, the staff member can submit a claim for each kilometer traveled in addition, calculated on the approved kilometer rate. The claim must be made on the form prescribed for traveling and subsistence cost. The adjusted rate payable is $7.15 per kilometer. Okay, management recommended that the adjustment to the daily subsistence allowance and kilometer rate be implemented from 1st of July 2025 in accordance with the Ministry's directive, that the advance form for subsistence and travel allowance be amended to make provision for vehicle type and engine stroke volume in cubic centimeter, or what is that? That council procured 2 vehicles to be used for administrative official use duties. That the required budgetary provisions for the adjusted daily subsistence allowance and kilometer rates be incorporated into the 2025-2026 financial year budget. Council to take note and to endorse the ministerial directive. Refer to Council. So this is directive from the ministry, not the own one. And all the attachments are here. It is clear.
Councillors? Any questions, proposal or secondment? Councillor Lani propose. Councillor Venus Secondus. 11.5, Department Technicus. 11.4, consideration, deliberation and approval on the sale transfer of ERF 170 Block 8 Extension 1 Rehoboth. I give over to the chairperson.
Thank you, Your Worship. The background, the Housing and Property Division received an application from SEPCA Civil Contractors CC expressing their need to purchase ERF 170 Block H Extension 1 Rehoboth. The applicant intends to establish a business on this ERF. ERF 170, the ERF size in square meters 3,712, and the zoning is general residential. The rate per square meter, as per the gazetted rate, 155 Namibian dollar, with a total purchase price, excluding of VAT, 575 Namibian dollar, 575 Namibian dollar 360. 575,000 Namibian dollar 360. Oh. All right. Management recommended that Council approves the sale by way of private treaty of F170 Block H Extension 1, Rehoboth, measuring 3,712 square meters at the gazetted rate of 155 Namibian dollar. Okay, which is equivalent to 661,664, inclusive of VAT to SEPCA's civil contractors. This was without VAT, this is inclusive of VAT. The applicant to rezone ERF 170 Block H Extension 1, Rehoboth, from general residential with a density of 1 to 500 to business bulk factor of 1 to 0 on own cost. Housing and Properties Division to inform client of Council's approval within 7 working days after Council approval. Applicant to provide the Housing and Properties Division with an acceptance letter within 7 working days after being notified of the Council's approval. Failure to provide the acceptance letter in the required time frame means that the client has declined the offer and application will not be processed further. Once the applicant has provided the acceptance letter, a deed of sale shall be prepared by the relevant office for the applicant to source funds for payments of the approved land. A compulsory 33% of the purchase price to be paid within 30 days after letter of acceptance, before advert placement and ministerial approval is sought. Failure to comply, the whole application will be nullified. The balance payment of the purchase price is required to be settled within 90 calendar days from the issuance of ministerial approval. Failure to comply will result in nullification of the whole application, and the 33% deposit shall be forfeited to the Council. The sales transfer will be subjected to the advertisement for objections. The sales transfer will be subject to the attaining of ministerial approval. The standard conditions of sale, as stated in the deed of sale, shall remain in force, and all costs incidental to the sales process be borne by the beneficiaries. The applicant is responsible for providing the required municipal services for their land. Please, Edmund, refer to Council, not to MC.
Thank you, MC. Councillors. Any deliberation or proposement and secondment? Councillor Rani propose. Any secondment? Councillor Amanda seconds. Then we move on to 11.5.2, request for grazing contracts extension. Mr. Franz Urap and Mr. Gabriel Dux. MC Chair, over to you.
Thank you. The Townlands Division received applications from 2 tenants requesting extensions of their lease agreements. Mr. Uirap, a tenant in Camp 1, and his lease expired on the 1st of April 2025, while Mr. Dux, a tenant in Camp 18, had his lease expired on the 1st of March 2025. The financial implications. The council will incur costs related to the advertisement. However, a portion of these expenses is recoverable through an advertisement fee of 500 per applicant per advert, as well as an administrative fee of 1,500. Recommendation. Management Committee recommended that the lease of Mr. Franz Uirap Camp 1 and Mr. Gabriel Dux Camp 18 be extended for a period of 5 years. Thereafter, contract shall not be extended for another period. That the tenants remains in the camps they are currently occupying. The rental amount be as per the gazetted rate tariff. That the applicant sign new lease agreements upon conclusion of statutory processes and refer to council. Now, Mr. Dux is not on anything on his municipal account. Mr. Uirap.
Thank you, MD. Councillors? Councillor Amanda?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to ask a question. I will first give a background. Me and my late husband, we had also tenants of Camp 3, Kamses. And at that time, they told us that the camps are only for emerging farming. So after 5 years, we're supposed to go out of the camp. Now we know that there are people who's on attendance on the camp for many, many, many years. And this is now the first time that they see, number one, that the contract shall not be extended for another period. Is it now only for these 2 persons, or is it for the future? I'm talking about the people who's there for different decades on the farms, and that is why there are also no new attendants can come onto the farms, on the camps, because it is now overcrowded. Standpoint of council, for how long will you be attendant?
Continue, Councillor Amanda.
Okay, no, that is my question.
Okay. Councillor Amanda, normally each council is having the council's prerogative to say that it cannot be extended. But remember, the extension may be ending in another council which feels that they will rescind this resolution and then operate again. This is just because you want to clear the area because of the overgrazing area. So it's not to say it's a casting stone. It's prerogative of each and every council every 5 years to make a decision. So I don't think it's really that big of a problem if they accept it. If they do not, then it comes back to the council, and then this council can then say, okay, we will extend or not. But the next council may not also agree with us on this one even. So I think the minimum, the requirements we normally give is for 5 years. So that's where it comes. But the next council next term might decide to say, no, we will give extension again. So I don't see really the casting stone or the reason for that. Yes, but Councillor Lalani, you wanted to say something?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During my time as a councillor, the tenants will receive the 15 years terms. But in our term, we reduce it for 5 years term. So they are still the small scale farmers, so they can still be renewed. So therefore, I propose it.
Sorry, you propose it. You have to respect you proposed it. You can continue because there's no secondment on it. Councillor Mario, you may continue. But there is a proposement. There is a proposement, but you may continue on your point that you want to bring. Are you fine? Okay. Any secondment on it? Yes, you may.
Thank you, Bishop. I would just like to know, since we had the townlands issue, many people are asking for extension on the contracts that has been. But Council, remember that apart from that, there was a moratorium, resolution on a moratorium for no grazing anymore. So it means also means that these people that are now, the time expired after 5 years or whatever, and the council don't want to extend. How comparable is it to the ones that are now also applying and being told that there's a moratorium on it? While you also, because the reason why council said in the beginning to put a moratorium is because council first took a resolution and say everybody must be given contracts who are sitting there legal or illegally, and you remember there was a huge debate on it, on what is the terms of the definitions of those words. Now the same thing happens. My office is receiving applications every day on people who still wants to have land in the townlands. And then there are still people who are in the townlands sitting there who wants contracts, but they can't get it because they didn't come during the limited time or the time that was given to come and renew or obtain a contract against the 500 Namibian dollars. But those people, or the people, those ones are still there. They are in the camps. They don't have contracts. They have been told, no, we are not going to give you a contract because you came after the grazing period that was given. Or then people are being told, okay, there's still a moratorium. Now, council took various resolutions on that one. It makes the work for us very difficult. We don't sometimes, some of the tenants will come to you and say, but I am sitting in the camp. How is it that you cannot give me a contract while I'm sitting there? Others we are telling them, no, we have to put a moratorium. There's a resolution for moratorium because council wants to do an exercise on the townlands. Still, we never came to the option or to the conclusion of the exercise that we wanted to conduct. So seemingly there is still an issue on the townlands. And while we are arguing about these points, some people are only going in illegally and they still do whatever they want to do because we don't have a proper control on all these things. Contradictory statements and so on, that is what we are doing. So we need, from the council side, we really need guidance in terms of what is the correct way to go now, what are we going to do from here on, even if we have to refresh some of the resolutions, say we are still on our mandate, as we are saying before, this is a way to go from here on. Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Councillor Mara.
Thank you. I just want to draw the attention of the honourable councillors to what is the purpose of townlands, and that is to serve as an incubator period for small farmers, small-scale farmers. Now, to get back to the CEO on your argument, you know, it depends who you are. It depends on what is your surname. If we do the right thing, as from today onwards, even though we are having resolutions in place, we just need to do the following. That the lease agreements for Mr. X and Mr. X be extended for a period of 5 years, even though they are already there for 15 years in this incubator place period, but they are there already 15 years. But now we are going to extend it for another 5 years because, so we shouldn't look at the problem here is why we are in this mess, is because we are looking at who it is. Because the MC, am I right?
No,
Are
no.
you discussing me there?
No, no.
Okay,
You may continue, Councillor Mara.
thank you very much. If your name is Mr. X and you are there already 15 years, and now the MC management or the management committee decided that we will put the people that are there 15 years for another 5 years, that equals 20 years, then let's treat Mrs. X and Mr. Z the same. Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Mara. What I want to ask you is this. You are saying it's according to the surnames, the names and the surnames, who you are, okay? Do you have effect of that? Can you make an example of
It's
effect?
there in the management committee recommendation. The management committee recommendation that is
Yes.
now brought to us.
Yes, but
These
we,
applicants, I need to make it clear for you so that you
Yes.
understand. These two applicants are already in Townlands for 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah? They are going to be extended now for 5 more years.
Yes.
Knowing us as a council know that this is actually only a place where you should get on your feet.
okay,
That's a straight fact.
all right.
You are in.
Are they on their feet?
No, you just need. Let's say I am in the
No, I'm
Townlands.
asking, are they on their feet or are they not on their feet?
They should get on their feet
Within
in
the
20
period.
years, or in 5 years, or in 10 years, but they are
Okay.
not.
Do we
Now
have
we
provision?
need-
Do we have provision for
Don't
them?
ask me so many questions.
No,
Give me time so
because
that I can
I'm asking
repeat
because
myself.
Actually, I'm asking you the questions and you're just giving answers.
No,
Just
we are
wait
not
for-
in a court.
No, we are not. I'm just asking, is there provision? Because we look at the merits. You look at everything when you make a next decision. So the merits of the case is what Councillor Amanda also mentioned, is that that was the purpose. And you are quite right with the process of Townlands. But what I'm asking is, with the tenants that are currently there, I mean the legal ones that is really having the contracts, I'm talking about them now, if they really honored and they did their payments, but even when they want to move to the next level, due to farming and they did not get farms, where must we allocate them because they did not get a farm? Where must we allocate them to which area? Because we don't want them to be at a backyard farming or grazing. So where must we actually reside these people with their animals? And then you look into the fact to see if the farming in the period of time, because it's a risk of weather, drought, and everything. So you look at that before you make a decision. So I'd rather ask, say that we rather look before we give an additional years, we rather look at the circumstances, the merits, rather saying it's according to who it is, but let's rather refer it to the merits of a situation and not look into who they are. Do you get me? I don't want to because it's a Van Wyk, he must get more privilege than the Beekers. I don't want that. I'm asking, we must work according to the merit if the persons, and they sometimes you get information to say they applied, but they didn't get after 5 years. For example, they applied at the regional council, they applied at the traditional authorities, but they didn't get a place whereby they can move out of the camp to the next area. Therefore, they're coming back to say, we did not get any piece of land,
power line.
I'm sure that is. Just wait.
Thank you, Councillor.
Recommendation 0 recommend that the power line servitude passes through portions 1 to 4 of the remainder of the town and town line number 302 of the township establishment approved under council resolution RTC 0612 08/2024 cancel. That the 4 Highlands power line, high voltage power line.
She's staying far away from the mic.
Outside the development.
She's far away from the mic.
Thank you, Councillor.
Yeah, she's far away from the mic.
So will it then going back again to the city connector, or will it still stay at the 61?
I have to make sure because
What if I
power
say-
lines are rerouted.
But then it's still, then again 71.
That's why they cancel the submission.
Yeah, so they-
Recommendation states they will cancel that one for the reroute first to take place, and then they will come another
But
submission.
with the new submission.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Proposed by Councillor Lani,
It's echoing.
Councillor Amanda. When we go over the regulations of tariffs, if any none, in camera, before we go to in camera, I would just like to thank the media. Gentlemen assisted us today. Thank you very much, and the lady as well. Thank you, our first lady. Thank you for assisting us. We will take a 10-minute break, and then we will come back for you in camera. Thank you.
It's echoing, right? Are you sure you guys didn't touch anything?
No, we didn't.
Huh?
The councillor put your boxes, I think, underneath the table.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's this thing.
but now it's over. We can pick up.
Is the meeting still on?
Just on the mic and talk. On the mic and talk.
Now it's over.
That we are going for a break. No, but we need to test it.
It's not a break. Now we are done.
We need to know. They are not done. They are coming back. Test it.
It's in camera. They are talking now sensitive things.
Just talk on one of them. Talk so that we can confirm this thing is working. So that we know whether it's because.
Oh my God.
It's not.
It's not clear. I cannot hear.
It's not.
It was there. Yeah, it's
No,
over.
the sound is not there. Can you speak, sir? Speak. Just do what I say you should do.
Comrade Chair, is the sound working? It's better. Is the sound? Cecilia, is the sound working? No sound. But,